Obviously, this week has been exam week, and our guys are finishing up. I think we've got maybe a couple tonight online, a couple in the morning. We'll practice at around 11 o'clock and then head to Atlanta. It's a good day of basketball. You know, obviously Auburn, LSU, us, Clemson, Georgia Tech, with the team that we're playing in Western Kentucky. So 4 good games in the Atlanta Hawk Arena. So we're looking forward to it. We've had a good week of practice. Obviously the news about Robert Allen was real hurtful for Robert and our team. I felt really badly for Robert. He was just really seriously playing his best basketball, and he worked so hard. And so he goes back to the doctor on Friday. More than likely we'll have surgery on Monday, obviously season ending, and then we'll start his rehab as soon as possible. Deshaun is continuing to run. He's got his splint off. He's been cleared to kind of dribble. Hopefully he'll start maybe some shooting tomorrow. We hope maybe at some point next week he'll be cleared for contact. And then from there, we're just going to see, where his conditioning is. I want him to get some practices in before he plays. So kind of see what his availability is, but he's making progress.
On the Robert Allen side, how has this week kind of been mapped as the rest of the season without him in terms of just kind of seeing who you have and what you have?
Yeah, it was when a coach, you have a comfort about guys with toughness that can execute and has great basketball IQ, and Robert has all those. And so when you get into the situations, when you start game planning, he's always on the forefront for me because he can guard the other teams, and everybody, it seems like, got really good fours. Western Kentucky's got a really good four. And, so Sammy Hunter has to play. Jamin Brakefield, obviously is very capable. And even Jamin may be playing some at the 5 because Robert would play the 5 too. Sammy playing some at the 5. We may have to go small. It moves Luis down maybe to the 4, especially when Deshaun comes back, that Luis could play some more minutes at the 4. So just trying to figure out some things defensively and, to kind of game plan what we'll do the rest of non-conference. Then obviously I'm on into the SEC. Yeah, it's been good. It's been really good. We've had 2 good physical workouts, and we miss his voice. We do, but Robert came in with this unbelievable attitude. He wasn't coming in practice, woe is me. You heard his voice. He has Sammy over there talking to Sammy about some of the things he needs to do. He's always just what makes him good. He knows who he is. So I really think Robert's personality uplifted everybody. He didn't come in the gym, woe is me, and blah, blah, blah. He came in with this uplifting attitude. He'll obviously go on the trip with us, and I think we'll still hear his voice on the bench.
Obviously, no games this week with exams, but trying to keep that momentum from the games, especially the Memphis game. Is that such a thing for y'all, or trying to keep that through this week of practice?
Yeah, you have to do it through practice, and sometimes players don't understand that. You just don't turn it back on. You've got to have good, crisp physical practices. So we did, we took off. We watched the film on Sunday, took off Monday, and then had 2 good physical practices. We'll start tapering down and get into Western Kentucky today. But when you have a week off like that, I'm sure it's like football with an off week. Practices are critical, for the guys to keep making progress and coming in with a good spirit and good energy. And we've done that for the most part.
I think it's 3 or 4 non-conference games left until SEC play starts. Just how important is this stretch for you guys just to kind of figure things out?
Yeah, it is. I think it's number 1, to make progress. Number 2, stay healthy. Number 3, kind of see when Deshaun comes back how he fits, and it is. It's not going to be instant with him. It's going to take him some time because really, think about it, it's 10 out of 15 weeks he's missed with his knee and that. So these last 4 games before Florida is critical for us. And Western Kentucky, obviously, they were our arch rival when I was at Middle for 16 years. I've played a ton of big games against them, and I know Rick Stansberry, excellent coach. They've been kind of fighting the little COVID bug and an injury bug, and I think everybody will be available for us on Saturday. So really good team, talent, really good offensive team, and then obviously Middle Tennessee where I've coached, and then Dayton. So we've got some big games in the next 7 or 8 days.
A month in for Grant and James and Eric, just kind of where are you seeing the freshmen grow? I know that you need them to be.
Yeah, it's a good question, and we have not played them like I would have liked to. I think we've talked about it. I think, we've had some games that, we're glad we won them, but maybe we thought the score was separated earlier and maybe we could give them more time. And so they haven't gotten the time that we would have liked. Eric's out right now with strep. He won't practice today. We'll see what his availability is for the trip. They've all had really good moments in practice. Grant's fought some injuries. So I would think right now, Eric and James would be the two that would be most ready to play in a game. And you just got to stay available. You got to stay right on point. And those guys their attitudes have been good because you never know. I know that's what coaches say, but it really is facts that both those guys are going to be good players here. Just got to stay the course, keep practicing.
I know you've mentioned Jamin as being a guy who kind of needs to improve defensively. Have you kind of seen him step up in that area?
He had his very best practice yesterday. And, I've been right on top of him. I've coached him really, really hard for the last month. And, we want Jamin to be the best version of himself, and I know he does. It's really, really important to him. And he's got some great skill, shooting and passing. He has some casualness in his game, and it's little by little starting to get out. I thought the last 2 days were better, and to be a more willing defender all the time, and when he does that, then, we all know where he can be. And so, those are things that he's working at. He's in the gym probably first almost every single day. He's at the arena shooting, working on his game. He's a great teammate, and so I just think that he's going to keep making, progress. We got to have him to really be a really, really good player when the SEC hits.
Through 8 games, just your thoughts on Ty's progress, and kind of obviously now he's going to be leaned on like everybody else with Robert out. Just where do you see him in Saturday?
Yeah, he's one of our best playmaking guards. He kind of does a little bit of everything. It just wasn't the right day for some reason against Memphis. It was from an execution standpoint, defensive standpoint, and then we kind of settled in with some other guys. But Ty is going to be huge for us. He is. He can play multiple positions, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so I think he'll play really well on Saturday. He's going to get great opportunity. Another guy, just a tremendous teammate. Even when he didn't play as much against Memphis, he's the happiest guy in the locker room. And, he's had a really couple good days of practice.
Sensed any excitement for him going back to Georgia and playing in that arena?
Yeah.
Anything like that?
Yeah, no doubt. I think, James White, obviously from Atlanta, and Ty's being a Georgia guy and played at Georgia. And so, I think there's no doubt those guys look forward to going back home and playing in front of a lot of family and friends, and especially in that venue, which, those guys grew up in Georgia. They're watching the Hawks play their whole life, and State Farm Arena is a fantastic venue for hoops, so I think they are excited.
Have you ever had a player have to come back from the injury Deshaun's coming back from, and just kind of when it is a hand? Is there anything that you're nervous about with him in his shot and dribbling? Or anything?
Yeah, he's going to have to wear a protective thing on the top of his hand. It's one of those. Our technology is so good now. It's not really encumbersome at all, but it helps. If there's some kind of hit on his hand. I'm trying to think of a hand injury during the middle of the season. I can't think of one, especially its right hand. I know he's been working at it. He's really got some explosion. He looks healthier than he's looked. As far as jumping and running and different things like that, conditioning be a problem. So I don't know. I really don't know until he starts shooting and kind of see it, and then with the little protective thing, how it affects him, and he's just going to have to get used to it, and hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and he can kind of play out of that.
John, you can go ahead.
What's going on, Kermit? You mentioned kind of the potential changes you guys might have to make early on, with Robert out. But how confident are you in the depth that you guys currently have right now?
Well, obviously Jamin and Sammy. Sammy's was a huge key for us, John. He's been here for 3 years, and the biggest thing for Sammy is the toughness part of things, being able to rebound it. We know his skill level to be able to shoot it. He knows exactly what we're doing. He's very familiar with all the concepts offensively and defensively. So he and Jamin, and then obviously Eric, and then Luis moving down to the 4. So we're getting thinner, knock on wood. We got to keep these guys we have healthy and going forward.